What's up, guys? I'm on my way to the beta demo day up in Natra. It's being put on by Adventure Off-Road from Leoma, Tennessee. It's my buddy Mark's dealership. He's a great guy and a personal friend. I highly recommend, if you guys are in the market for a beta, give him a call, go up to see him. He's not going to steer you wrong. I'm excited to go because it's been about 2 months I've been able to ride. I'm down with an injury. I'm still not back to normal, but I'm going to try to give this event a go and see how it goes. If I'm not hurting too bad afterwards, then I think more riding is ahead for sure. Before I forget, YouTube has taken away my ability to create chapters for you guys, but I'm still going to provide timestamps in the description below. So feel free to click around to whatever content you're interested in. And I think we're going to have a pretty good day. It's 40 degrees right now. Should warm up a little bit, but I'm expecting a pretty decent turnout given the nice weather. And yeah, I'm just excited to be outdoors. So again, thank you for watching and enjoy the video. Alrighty. I'm not on a beta. I'm warming up on my own bike. It's been way too long. It's my second lap. It's a little slippery out here today. I'm extremely out of shape. So on a good day, I'm a C rider. Today, I'm a D rider, maybe. So keep that in mind when you watch this video. My opinions are not that of the fast guys. My opinions are of the weekend rider. So we'll see how it goes. So I'm hoping to ride older models today. Like I said, they're a little different from last year's. But all the good ones are still here. And if I can keep it upright, we'll have a good day. Thank you. So the other reason I'm riding my own bike, other than not wanting to break a demo bike with my inability, is to get a baseline for this terrain today. So I know my tire's pretty good, and the betas are running on, I believe, Max's tires for most of them. I heard that some of them might be Midas. Last year I wasn't super happy with those Max's tires, so I just want to make sure that I understand what the traction out here is like before I get one of those bikes. Cold right now. It's like upper 40s, I think. But I'm trying to get warmed up. It's nice. I got pretty fierce arm pump though. Well, that's what 2 months in the house will do to you. For those wondering, I developed a muscular back issue, but it's not spinal. It's purely muscular, but it manifested like sciatica in both legs, which was really painful. So if you suffer with back pain, you know what I'm talking about. Maybe it's a kid's course, but it's pretty tight. I have a feeling we're going to eat it today. Alright, we're on the 430 RR Race Edition, my first bike of the day. a little rough waiting for these things. A lot of people showed up, so I don't know if I'm gonna get to ride all of them or not. I'm hearing some reports of these Maxxis tires struggling on here. I'm gonna take it easy so I get a feel for it. Keep in mind these are demo bikes, so they're used and abused. Throttle feels pretty good. I'm in full power mode as far as I know, and traction control off. My first complaint is the clutch engages pretty far out, so that can be adjusted most likely. Happy. So the Race Editions has a KYB suspension, which is a little better than the standard RR, but I believe they all share the same brakes. That was my mistake. Feels pretty tame overall, like it doesn't hit very hard, assuming I'm in the right power band here. I think the sunshine, the little boost on means full power. I turned traction control off on all of them, hopefully, just to get a feel for kind of back to back what they feel like. I will say the traction control on these guys is pretty awesome. When you turn it on, it's like night and day difference. I think I said this last year, but if I was to get another 4-stroke, I'm pretty sure I'd get a Beta. They do it better than KTM for sure. And out of the box, they're just built better. Well, in my opinion. I know there plenty will disagree. I've read the Beta's got some issues with electrical stuff, but I mean, every manufacturer's got something, right? Whew. I don't even know what gear I'm in. I think it's second. Full-length bars are pretty wide. Up front, that's a little sketchy.
think Maxxis is the right tire for this kind of terrain. I'm sorry. The rear is okay-ish. I think it's just because this bike is pretty smooth on the power. Oh, sorry. But the front is definitely walking around. So I'm comparing to my IRC tires here, which are spectacular in this kind of condition. So what do I think of the 430? Smooth. You can feel there's a big ass piston underneath you here. Definitely thumping. I think with a good tire, this can do woods all day long. And I'm sure it's even better on the wide open desert and so forth. No real complaints. Brakes feel really good, but Beta brakes always felt good to me. And interestingly enough, I'm barely touching the clutch, and this thing is not stalling at all, not flaming out. I remember that from last year as well, but I don't know what they do, but their four-strokes don't flame out like KTM's. I mean, a couple times here I should have stalled, and I definitely didn't. So that's pretty cool. So maybe for newer riders or guys that are just annoyed with stalling, consider a Beta. Just barely touched the clutch there. Also, the clutch is super easy to modulate, super easy to press here. Not much force at all. So yeah, Beta 430. Good bike. Suspension's a little stiff, but that's, you know, stock suspension. And these are KYB, so they can be tuned really well. And I will say, for a four-stroke, this thing feels very light. I know it is light, it also feels light. The weight seems to be down low, which is always really nice. So yeah, Beta 430, good stuff. Good, but watch out for the front tire. It's
Hey, is my
it kicks out. Yeah, you're on. All right, 390 RS. This is actually a bike I've been considering getting if I ever go dual sport. So I'm kind of happy it's here today. I remember last year I liked it. liking the 390. So compared to the 430, it's a lot more free revving, I would say. Feels like it spins up quicker. Less thumpery. That's the professional term. Now keep in mind this is the RS, so this is a street legal version. I'm told the tuning on it is the same as a regular RR. I think the sprockets are a little different. But brakes feel really good. Really good. Clutch feels really good too. This clutch actually feels better than the 430 clutch. I'm not sure why. But it's also very light, cool. You could do a lot of hours on this bike without getting fatigued, I think, in your fingers. Whew. Ah, we got a fast guy coming. Huh. I guess we did stall it. There's a first for everything. Not sure why. Don't particularly recall letting the clutch go, but maybe. Now there may be a downside of a more free revving engine like this one in the 430. Maybe it does flame out a little easier. But that was probably my fault, so don't read too much into it. Oh man, what a bike. This thing is awesome. So unfortunately the 350 is out of the running. Someone broke the fender on it, so I won't be able to ride it today. But in all honesty, I was still gonna get one. I think I was gonna go to the 390 anyway, because I would dual sport it, and I want a little bit extra power for the highway. And I think this thing's got plenty of it. Sorry about the slowdown. I just smacked the tree with my hand. Forgot these things don't have proper hand guards. Got sucked a little bit. Alright. I'm still not pushing it very hard. A little better, but 2 months of not riding definitely takes confidence out of you. I think of the 430 compared to this 390. I think the 430 just feels more sluggish. And what I mean by sluggish, I mean the engine isn't as ready. I think this is probably the sweet spot between the 350 and the 430, right? That makes sense. But I like how this feels a little better. Nothing wrong with the 430 if you like lugging. But I think I prefer the characteristic here a little bit more. It also feels light. Like I said, I've been looking into this as a dual sport. This RS is road legal. got this Voyager display, which is really nice. Oops, wrong way. So if you're like in dual sporting and you do a little bit of single track now and again, I think this could be a winner. But in all honesty, I think this could do single track all day long. If you're a good rider, you keep up with anyone. If you're a mediocre rider, like me, I still think you would keep up with most people. This is how it goes. It's definitely better than me. Whew. Very crisp. It's very easy to turn. One finger clutch out of the factory. You okay, buddy? Okay. So my 350 that I used to have, I thought was a good bike, but like I said, I think Beta does 4-stroke better. KTM. Alright, so Verdi's on the 390. 2 thumbs up. Nah, there's no 500 here today. I know that's a good bike too, but I honestly can't imagine wanting more power than this. And I think this could be a weapon of choice for any dual sporter. And leave all the other dual sport options in the dust. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, big fan of this bike. There you go, man. This is an awesome bike. Yeah, I like it a lot. It revs a lot more than the 430 in a good way. I don't know what Les was talking about. I think the power is really good. So you're in full power, no traction control. Front felt really good. I only stalled it once, and yeah, good stuff, man. All right, Beta XTrainer. So this seems to be a crowd favorite still this year. A lot of guys like it. My initial impressions, unfortunately, same as last year. This thing vibrates like crazy. My legs all the way up to my hips, I can feel it. It's torquey. I think it's an easy to ride engine. But if you're vibration sensitive, holy cow. And it's not even in the handlebars, it's in the foot pegs. The handlebars is okay. I think after a long day, maybe you feel it too much. You good? But, yeah, and the foot pegs is nuts. And this is a counterbalanced engine, so I don't understand. Oh, thank you. I hate to badmouth this bike because I know a lot of people like it a lot. And I think it's great for a beginner because it's light, it's torquey, throttle's really smooth, clutch is really easy, brakes are really good, suspension's a little soft for my weight, but for a lighter rider or for a female rider, I could see it for sure. I just can't deal with the vibrations. I don't even understand how counterbalance engine can be this vibey. Blew that line. Something's clanking too. I don't know if I'm bottoming out something. Don't want to damage the bike. I mean, it's got power. It's a detuned 300, but it feels good power-wise. I'm just in second gear right now. I guess the engine feels a little lazy, maybe I would say, but not in a bad way, in a user-friendly way. So, you know, people who are maybe scared of two-stroke, I think this would be a good beginner for sure, which is I think what the target audience may even be. These trees right here, no handguards. So I know this demo fleet ain't from around here. Thank you. Jeez, that could have been my hand. Yeah. Suspension doesn't feel terrible, but I know it's not a full-size suspension like the other bikes. Woo. It's got a lot of nice torque to get you out of holes. So yeah, I don't really have a problem with any of the components or handling or what this bike is meant to be. You know, beginner friendly or easy to ride two-stroke, right? I get it. But this engine vibration is crazy. Yeah, I'm purposely trying to stall it, and it just goes. Alright, so final thoughts on XTrainer. I think what I said, if you can deal with vibrations in the foot pegs, and you're in the market for an easygoing two-stroke with a lot of torque and decent components at a really competitive price, sure, go for it. But I wouldn't put this bike in the same league as any of the other Beta two-stroke offerings in terms of suspension and especially vibration. Hate to be the naysayer here, but that's just my feeling. XTrainer, anyone?
XTrainer.
Woo. I don't know how you're doing on gas in here.
Let me look at it right quick. That looks alright. I know it's
Alright, 480 RR. Full power mode, no traction control. Here we go. This is the big boy. So Beta makes a 500, but that's only the RS, I believe, the street legal version. And as far as race editions here, and race bike, I guess RR and R race edition, 480 is as big as they get, I believe. I like this. Okay, so this is weird already. The 480 is a bigger thumper than a 430, but I feel the engine's more revvy. It's more like a 390, just a lot more go. I'm trying to hit all the same lines here. There's a light. Whew. That was weird. Stalled pretty good there. That might be on me. I think if you're riding in the desert and open terrain, a bike like this makes a lot of sense. In our little tight woods here, I think it's a little too much power, but it's not bad. It's still really smooth. I'm not fighting it at all. I just got to be respectful, you know. Now they do have traction control. They do have rain mode, so you can reduce the power. I'm just trying to get the feel for them at full power. I want to be a little more what's the word I'm looking for? I'm going to apply the clutch a little more, I think. Let's try not to stall it again. Alright. I gotta say, this is a big boy, but it's not crazy big. It doesn't feel big. Again, all the Beta 4-strokes are within like 2 or 3 pounds of each other in terms of wet weight. So they all basically weigh the same. The perceived feeling, right, is different. Because you got more moving mass with the cylinder, or in the piston, right? Well, I guess the piston, not the cylinder. But it's not crazy, so like, this feels about as light as my 350 that I used to have. You really don't feel the weight on top. So whatever Beta's doing, it works. Yeah, see, like, even in the tight, I'm not fighting it. I'm paying attention to the clutch a little more than a two-stroke. That tree, I've smacked it one too many times. Whew. Riding with no handguards is no bueno. Out of the hole, no problem. I mean, I'm in second gear this entire time, not revving it crazy high. Whew, that was my fault. That was my fault. I panicked about the tree and moved my hand off because I thought I was going to hit it. And I needed a clutch. Looks like the 350 is back on the menu. So I'd like to ride that still. And then I really got to get on the two strokes. Purposely logging it a little bit to see if it stalls again, but it hasn't. Alright, so what do we think of this 480? I mean, it's a lot of bike, but it doesn't feel like a lot of bike. I'm digging it. Between the 390 and the 480, I guess that depends, you know, what you're doing, because the 390 comes in RR and RS, right? So if you're dual sporting, this one technically isn't street legal. So you're looking at a 500 or the 390. I could see this being a better displacement again for open desert and big climbs and whatnot. I mean, I'm barely scratching at the power band here. Yeah, this thing, I mean, it's got a ton of power. A ton. I can feel it just like sneaking up on me. brakes on these bikes are really good. I really like them. Alright. Beta 480. Good bike. Big bike, but good bike. I'm surprised how light it feels. It's a good bike. You're in full power, no traction control. Alright, Beta 250. Getting a feel for it. Alright. I like the power. Feels very light. I will say though, it also vibrates for me. Not in the handlebars as much, but definitely in the full pegs. Not as much as the XTrainer, but still some. But boy, it feels light. A little bit of lugging. Yeah, I mean, I can live with this vibration, I think. It's not ideal, but it's not as bad as the XTrainer for sure. Now the 250 and the 300 are counterbalanced. So is the XTrainer. The 200 is not. But I will say I think KTM does a better job of kind of balancing their engines on the 2-strokes. Hey, I took a good line for once. Look at me. Woo. Yeah, come on, someone coming up on it here. See if we can pull away. The answer is probably no. That's a 350 there. I do like how this engine revs. And I realize I'm not really in the power band. But for how I ride, still feels nice. I screwed that up. Again, no hand guards. Just a leisurely stroll in the woods. Yeah, when you sit at home for 2 months, your ability to judge distance between trees definitely declines. I can tell you I'm slowing down more than I used to. But I'm just happy to be out here. I got a whole new respect for just being able to ride. I feel lucky and just excited to be out in the woods again. I've heard the saying before, and I don't think it really hit me, but any day riding is a good day. And boy, that's the truth. I definitely got comfortable in my ability to ride. And you know, you never know what's going to happen. It can be taken away really quickly. And it's one thing if it's lights out, you know, for you, and you're gone. It's another thing if your ability is taken away, and you see others still getting to ride while you sit at home. Not to be a downer in this video, but that's kind of where I was at. And that really messes with you mentally. This is my outlet, you know. I'm clearly not the fastest guy out here, but I'm okay with that. I met a couple cool guys here today who apparently have seen my videos. I'm always thankful for those who watch. Still amazed that people watch, but I'm grateful. And whenever I meet someone, they're always cool about it. We got a lot of really nice guys down here. I'm glad I can bring some entertainment. Whew. This is a very lively bike. Feels light. Feels like a bicycle. So this versus the XTrainer, I would say 250 all the way. It's a more fun bike, for me at least. And I don't think it's that much hard to ride. I mean, the clutch feels the same. Power's a little more jerky because this thing revs up pretty crazy. But it's nothing bad. I'm enjoying this a lot. And like I said, this vibration I could probably live with. I wish I could open it up a little more. I'm just not that brave today. Oh man, this is a fun bike. So yeah, 250, 2 thumbs up, as expected. Can't go wrong with this bike. 250. Someone was waiting, I don't know. Yeah, you're still good. All right. Beta 300 RR. The big boy. So this still vibrates a little bit. I would say less than the 250, a lot less than the XTrainer, but still more than my 300. Woo. This boy's got some power. Okay, so the 300 feels a little bit heavier than the 250. On the scale, they're not. They're the same, I believe, or very close. But, you know, the 300 engine, it's got more mass rotating. You can feel a little bit of it, a little less playful. Still revs pretty easily, though. Yeah, definitely revs pretty easily. And it's very smooth. It's got a nice kick though. Now these do have an adjustable power valve, just like the KTMs. I think from the factory they're probably set, you know, tame. So I bet you could liven this thing up even more. I don't think if it needs it. It seems pretty lively. I'm just fighting for traction a little bit here, because this thing is shaking out the back pretty good. Now keep in mind this has traction control, which I'm not running right now. And I'm running in full power mode because this says 2 power. Well, actually, you know what? I think I lied. No, I don't think it has traction control. I have to look. I'll pull annotation. I'm not sure if there's a traction control or not, but it definitely has 2 power modes. Well, let's see. Hold on. No, that's power mode. Yeah. I don't see traction control. Maybe it doesn't have it. The 4-stroke definitely have it. But in full power, it's got power, that's for sure. But it's not crazy uncontrollable or anything like that. It's very smooth still. Still feels playful. Easy to flick. My hand. I should bring my own handguards to the next demo event. Alright, this is a very good bike. I mean, throttle's nice and smooth. Brakes, as always, are good. Again, all the brakes I think are the same on these bikes. Clutch feels a little stiffer than the 4-strokes, but it's still 1 finger. It definitely 2 finger very easily. And you don't really need that much of it, because I don't think this thing's gonna stall anytime soon. I haven't been talking about suspension much. These RR models have the, I believe it's a stack suspension. I'll put it on the screen. And the RR Race Edition have KYB. And clearly both can be tuned, and you know, from the factory they're not tuned for my weight. I know last year I talked about that a lot, but I realized, you know, pretty much everyone gets suspension redone anyway. So what I'm feeling is not really that important. If you'll get it resprung and rebuilt for your liking. But I guess component-wise, you know, the race editions do have better force and better shock. But I don't see anything wrong with these guys here. They're a little firm for me. But I like my suspension pretty soft. I'm just not a fast guy, so I'm not flying over bumps like some. Dang it. I always get this part wrong. Too many options. Oh, this thing's got some power for sure. Yeah, the tires are just a little hard for this terrain. So that's been an issue all day. Alright. So what do we think of the 300? This is a great bike too. Between the 250 and the 300, boy, that's a hard choice. I think if you're doing more desert, you know, more hill climbs, maybe you're a bigger guy, or maybe you like to vlog, I think, you know, 300 is probably the answer. But I don't think the 250 would be at a disadvantage in those situations either. Because the 250 is a little lighter, a little more revvy. And I think it likes to live in the higher rev range a little bit more, maybe. Whereas this one got so much power on tap all the way through. I haven't even begun to spin it up. So another great bike. 300. Anyone? Really? No takers? Alright, Beta 200 RR. This is the point I've been waiting for. All day. It's noon now. Woo. This was my favorite bike last year. So I know what you're thinking. Does it vibrate? A little bit, but not as bad as the other ones. And for whatever reason, it doesn't bother me. Wow, this is a lively bike. It feels so light. This is by far the crowd favorite. It's been impossible to try to get on the flight. Like, I literally had to wait for everyone to basically go home to be able to get a turn at it. So good. Woo. Well, this thing goes, I think I'm riding a gear high anyway. Yeah, I'm in 3rd gear. So that's the one thing I noticed last year, was that this thing's got so much freaking rev power, and in 2nd gear it's crazy. On like mud like this, I gotta ride a gear high, because this thing just spins up so fast. Like, if you like a revvy 2-stroke, holy crap, this is it. Like, this is 3rd gear. I don't even know when you would use 2nd gear, honestly, in this thing. Oh, I love it. Yes, 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 yes. This was worth the wait. So I'm purposely riding a 3rd gear because the mud, but also to demonstrate that even though it's only a 200, this thing will pull out of a hole in gear high or more even, no problem. Just it'll lug. It's got torque I'm not expecting. I don't understand how they built this engine. But last year I was so surprised too. Okay, just 3rd gear, barely touching the throttle, flying. Woo. Alright, be careful, trees. So the 200 is not counterbalanced, and you can feel a little bit of the vibration, but definitely a lot less than the other bikes. Which is weird, but it is a smaller piston, so I'm thinking of stealing it. No, but we may try to stick around and maybe get another lap on it. I'm not a good enough rider to open it up in these woods, so I know potential is going to waste, but it's still fun. In my mind, this is by far the funnest bike here. Like, not even a competition. What an amazing machine. And this is the race edition. It's got the better suspension. It's running premix. That's the other thing to mention. The RR versions, non-race, have oil injection, whereas the race editions are premix. I believe they're all carbureted though. But, I mean, the fueling is spot on. No hesitation, crisp. Not surprising in any way. And again, I'm picking my same line. The sun is going down, so the shadows are playing in my eyes a little bit. I'm an old man. Holy crap, what a fun bike. It's very lively. And it does have a 2-stroke head. But it's totally controllable. Where am I going? Yeah, I mean, just pulled out of the hole. Very leaning throttle. 3rd gear. I don't understand how something that spins so freely can have so much torque. Good job Beta on this engine. Freaking amazing work. Do I need to say anything more? Final thoughts on the 200. You thinking about it? Just buy it. I don't think you'll ever have this much fun on a bike. Whew. Freaking perfection, man. This is an amazing bike.
This is a ring dinger.
Oh yeah. Whew.
How did you tell him?
I love this bike, man. So good. Alrighty. 350 RR. This is not a race edition, but it lost a fender earlier in the day. So it's got a borrowed fender from the owner of Adventure Off-Road. Okay. Okay. Initial thoughts. This is a fun bike. So this, again, I was saying earlier in the day, last year when I rode this, I rode it in rain mode, and I thought it was really tame. Now I'm in full power mode. This thing is pretty lively, in a good way. also be that I'm tired. It's a long day. If you're a 4-stroke guy and you want to ride trails, I would argue this is the kid right here. Feels very lightly, very light. Revs pretty easily. Compared to my old 350, I would say it's a better bike for sure. I had the KTM 350. And, this engine feels better. Also, I don't know, this thing revs in a way that feels very controllable, but also spins up fast. I'm digging it. Now for dual sport, because they make a 350 RS, I believe. Yeah, I mean, obviously it would work too. I'm just wondering how something like this would do, you know, going 65 down a paved road. But I think the engines are the same. Although I wonder if they tune them the same. But man, for a woods bike, this is a fun bike right here.
Thank you.
Yep. That corner was there. Yeah, the clutch is super easy to modulate. Again, one finger clutch here. You don't even need it. Bike. I think if I had to get a 4-stroke for the woods, this would be it. I still think for dual sporting, that 390 feels a little bit more like it makes sense. But for a pure woods bike, get this guy in the race edition. You'll be happy. revs more freely than the 430 and the 390. Feels lighter than both of those. Yeah, that's another winner right here.
What's up, guys? So I just got done editing the video, and I think I've made enough mistakes during the rides, despite the clarifying text that I put in, to warrant a conclusion section, because there are a number of items I want to talk about that I either didn't explain in the video or got wrong. So I did some research, and based on the beta product site as well as their OEM catalog, I want to summarize a couple of things. If any of these are wrong, or if there's more information that I should be saying, please post in the comments. I would love to know if I made a mistake anywhere, or if there's additional stuff that would make a purchase decision swing one way or the other. So again, please let me know. In the meantime, I have a couple sections here I want to cover, and hopefully that will clarify some of the things I said. So first, the weight. So according to the website, the two strokes weigh the same between the RR models and the RR Race Edition models. And the four strokes also weigh the same, except for the RS models, which are, I think, about 4 pounds heavier per engine displacement. The brakes and the clutch on these bikes are the same, from what I can tell based on the OEM catalog. So the master cylinders are the same, the slave cylinders are the same, some of the clutch packs are the same. And so from what I can understand, the braking and clutch feel should be the same between the bikes. Why some of them felt a little different than the others, I'm not entirely sure. But none of them were difficult to actuate. I would say the four strokes were basically one finger. The two strokes were almost one finger. You can definitely work it if you need to be. I have kind of small, weak hands. So for me, the two strokes were a little harder to actuate, but again, much easier than anything hydraulic from KTM. So I also looked at gear ratios. The 250 and the 300 have the same gear ratios, and the 200 has different ones. And from what I can tell, the four strokes have the same gear ratios across all the models. I thought the RS would have different gear ratios, but it doesn't. It does have different final drive, meaning different sprockets. So the RR and RE models are geared lower than the RS model, which would make sense because for the RS, you're probably doing more open road and maybe even pavement. But I'm assuming if you change those back to what the RR and RE are, the RS would basically be exactly the same. I talked about the tires a bunch. Like I mentioned last year, the Maxxis tires I wasn't a big fan of. This year I made sure to ride the course with my tires. I run IRC tires, which I like a lot, especially down here. So according to the website, the bikes come with either Metzeler or Maxxis tires. So the RR models come with Maxxis Enduro, the RS come with Maxxis Enduro DOT, and the RE, so the Race Edition models, come with Metzeler. But based on what I saw out on the course, I think there was a mix of tires, and I'm not sure which bike had which. This was a demo fleet, so I think it's been rotating across different dealers, and who knows, maybe when they had flat tires, they replaced them with whatever they had on hand. I'm not entirely sure, but I don't think they were as consistent as the website claims. So all I know is that I wasn't a fan of the Metzeler on the 430 that I rode, but I'm not entirely sure what the other bikes had. So some of them, like especially the two strokes, I didn't have any major issues with the front end washing out or anything like that. They were a bit firmer than I like, but you know, air pressure is just that. You can quickly release it, right? I didn't mess with any of them. Again, not my bikes, demo fleet, right? But I don't want to judge the bikes based on whatever rubber the manufacturer thought would be best, because we all know factory tires usually suck, right? So just want to clarify that, because I don't want to give Maxxis or Metzeler a bad name. I just don't think they work that well on the kind of clay and roots and stuff that we have down here. So regarding the suspension, I think I was correct in what I said in the video. The RR and the RS both have SAC suspension, and the RE, so the race editions, have KYB. Don't think there is really a major difference in the two as far as my speeds go, but I know the faster guys love the KYB, and I believe KYB is seen as, you know, higher in terms of component quality. But as I mentioned in the video, everyone gets their suspension redone anyway for their weight and for their riding style. I just think the KYB might be more tunable to a specific rider's style. But again, at my speeds, I probably wouldn't be able to tell much of a difference as long as it was sprung from my weight and maybe valved for the kind of riding I do. But keep that in mind, because I think if you can swing the race edition in terms of, you know, the finances, I think the KYB would be worth it. And I think it would also resell easier than the standard edition. And lastly, in terms of weight, the RR and the RE are about the same according to the website. And the RS is a tad heavier, I think 4 pounds heavier, which isn't really that much given that the RS has a bunch of road legal things on it. And the other thing to mention is that from what I can tell, they all have the same 200 watt stator, which is pretty nice. So let's talk about the 4-strokes more in depth here. I did talk about the bore a little bit in the video, and I think I got it a little bit wrong, so I want to clarify some of that. So first of all, the bore is the same between the specific engine sizes in the RR, RE, and RS. The 350 is a short stroke. The 390 is a stroke 350, so the piston size, the bore is the same, just the stroke is longer. The 430 and the 480 are the same stroke, but obviously the 480 has a bigger bore. What's interesting is that I mentioned the RR comes in a 480, but not a 500, and the RS comes in 500, but not 480. But according to the beta website, the 480 and the 500 have the same bore. So they may actually be the same engine, just named differently for marketing purposes. I'm not sure. So I'd be curious if any of you know the answer to that. All the 4-strokes are fuel injected. They have dual maps, so a full power mode and a, they call it rain mode, I believe, or reduced power mode, as well as traction control that's switchable on all the models. The RS is geared taller, as I mentioned, and the RS also has the nice Voyager display, which I believe has a whole bunch of more information, and I think even has GPS built in. Now, in terms of engine tuning, I couldn't find information on this other than on the forums, but I believe that there is a difference between the RR and the RE in terms of maps. I think the RE is supposed to be a hotter map maybe, or maybe it's meant for aftermarket exhaust. I'm not sure. I do believe the RS has a different map from the RR because the RS has a different size header coming out of the engine. And also the RS is road legal, so I would assume that in Europe it needs to meet emission standards, which are pretty strict. So I'm not sure how Beta would get away with having the same map between the RR and the RS, given those differences. But again, I'm not sure. So if any of you know the differences or can comment on the maps between these 4-strokes, I would love to know, so please leave it in the comments. Now, regarding the 2-strokes, they are all carbureted. They do have dual maps, but they do not have traction control from what I can tell. The RR are oil injected, so kind of like the KTM TPIs, and the RE, so the race editions, are running premix. The 250 and 300 and the XTrainer are counterbalanced. The 200 is not. They all have an adjustable power valve, kind of like KTM. I don't know if you can swap the springs, but I do know you can adjust the power valve itself in and out to adjust the point at which the power valve kicks in. Now, regarding vibrations, this was a big topic in the segments I have. I know vibrations are different from everyone. Some people are susceptible to handlebar vibrations, others are susceptible to foot peg vibrations, and even between different individuals, the perception is a lot different. I spoke to a number of people during the event about the XTrainer, and I was definitely in the minority that felt it was a very vibrating bike. A lot of people in the event loved the XTrainer and actually thought it was one of the best bikes there. I was not a fan purely because of the amount of vibration I felt in the foot pegs. It actually made my feet buzz when I got off of it, right? And this was maybe an 8-minute run on the single track, right? So why the XTrainer vibrates as much as it does, I don't know. It's counterbalanced like the 250 and the 300. It is a 300 size engine, so I would think that it would have similar vibrations to the 300 RR or the RE, but it definitely doesn't. They're a lot more noticeable for me. The 250 vibrates less than the XTrainer, but more than the 300, and so the 300 vibrates the least out of all of them. But they all vibrate more than my KTM 300. I don't know why. I know counterbalancing is kind of a magical thing and it doesn't address all the different harmonics, but I think for me specifically, I don't think I'd be happy with the XTrainer given how much it vibrates. Now, what's interesting is the 200 is not counterbalanced, and as you guys can probably tell from the video, I absolutely love the 200. In fact, I'm fighting myself not to go buy one because I enjoyed it that much. It's a really, really fun little bike, and maybe because it's more revvy and some in the upper RPM, I don't notice the vibration as much as I did with the XTrainer, which I was logging a lot more. But I've talked with a few individuals again at the event who thought the vibrations increase with RPM. So again, in different individuals, different feelings. I don't want to sway anyone away from the XTrainer based on that, but I would say don't buy an XTrainer until you can ride one or test ride one at an event like this, or maybe see if you have a friend with one and you can ride it, because I think there's got to be more people like me who notice the vibration. And it does transfer into the handlebars as well. So if you have carpal tunnel or something similar, I know those people are more susceptible to hand numbing from vibration. So I just want to call that out because I like the betas a lot, but that is the one area where I think beta needs to work on because KTM just does it better. Okay, so now conclusions. What was my favorite bike? I think that's pretty easy to answer. Definitely the 200. I don't dislike the 4-strokes, but I think the 200 was the most lively and the most fun for me. I'm not a fast rider, and so I think for me, a slower bike ridden fast is more fun because I just don't use all the power of the 300, even the one I have myself. So which bike would I take if it was given to me for free? Definitely the 200. Which bike would I buy? That's a different question. So if I still have my 300, I would probably buy the 390 RS because I do think that there is enough interesting stuff around me here where dual sport would be kind of fun to have. I used to have a dual sport and I kind of miss it. So given that I have a woods bike already, it wouldn't make much sense for me to buy a pure woods bike, even though the 390 could definitely do the woods all day long, or I'm talking about the RS, right? The road legal version. But it would be fun to have a dual sport, and I think that would be my choice if I was to purchase one. If I didn't have my 300, or if something happened to my 300 and I had to go buy a new dirt bike tomorrow, I'm pretty sure I would buy the 200. The Beta 200 is just a lot of fun. Like I said, I don't know what it would be like to live with. I know it's different than KTM in terms of parts support and parts availability. I know the aftermarket's different, and I've not ridden a small bore like that on some of the stuff we ride around here. But other than getting used to the power band being different, I think it would still be a lot of fun. So those are my thoughts. I hope that clarifies some things. I just don't want to have misinformation out there. I would love to know if you guys have any additional information you want to provide or clarify, or if I got anything wrong. I would also love to know if you had a chance to ride these betas and what you think about them. Which one would you buy? Which one did you buy? What would you recommend to your friends, maybe girlfriends, wives, right? It's all interesting, and I think if people find this video, it would be cool to have that in the comment section because you would help potential buyers in the future. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate you guys. And if you have any questions or comments, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.